This one's been a long-standing favorite of mine, Zombies by Twilight Games. We have the original printing here, and this is the second edition, or as they call it, this is the widescreen edition and the director's cut. The artwork in the older version was a little more cartoony. The newer edition's much more gritty and comic book styling. Definitely like the artwork in this one better. We actually combined the two to make our cities bigger, and you'll see what that entails once I get into the contents, but it makes the game last longer and ends up being more fun and more betrayal. This is basically what you're going to get in the box. Didn't want to dump out all the tokens, but these are basically they're little bullets that you're going to place around the town. You pick them up. They allow you to re-roll dice. These ones are hearts. In the original edition, they were black, and they blended in a lot with the background and the bullets, making them hard to find. In the newer editions, they're red, much easier to find. I think you get more of the red ones too. This is your city deck. We'll go into that in a little minute. These are going to be your cards. They add weapons, events, and things that take place. You use them to help yourself and to screw over your others. So the game comes with a basic die 6. We color-coded ours to go with the characters, so we know whose is whose. It also helps to have a couple extra because there's some effects in the game that use counters, and it works good for those. You have your game pawns here. And I pick up probably the hardest one to see. That's just a guy with a shotgun, basically. And there's different colors to tell who's who. We've taken to using pieces from other games. She's from a game called HeroClix. Took her off the base. Makes a great figure for this. I myself used Master Chief because, well, who wouldn't? And he's perfect size. He fits right in. And then lastly, we have the giant zombie hordes. In the original edition, all you got were these normal zombies. The new edition comes with some of them and some females. And you can also buy packs of, I think, 100 of the different zombies. The game currently has 11 expansions, I believe, each one adding new stuff to the game. Some of them can be played standalone, some you can combine. There's a prison, there's a sewer system, there's a school, there's a mall, military base. There's a park that has dogs in it. The military base has glow-in-the-dark, genetically engineered zombies who are harder to kill. All kinds of different things. The dogs move faster but only have half the life of a normal zombie. So it's a lot of add-ons that add to the game, but the base game itself is still fun. So the entire game is played using these tiles. You're going to draw them. Up here in the corner, they're going to say what they are, if they're anything or nothing, if they're generic. And then they have a number of zombies, life, and bullets. This one has 0 because it's going to be your starting point. That's going to go in the middle of the battlefield. Then you have this deck here. Your goal is to get to the helipad here, which has 9 zombies, 1 on each square. And you need to clear them all off either by moving them or killing them to take the helicopter and win. The problem is this goes on the bottom of the deck. So you have to get through all those. At the beginning of each player's turn, you're going to draw one. This is a generic. And the way you do the generic ones is there's 1, 2, 3 exits off of there. So you're going to put 3 zombies somewhere in the road. And then they connect onto one of our existing streets. And then you'd go on with your turn. And then we got, this is just going to keep going. You're going to keep building off the city. There's a 4-way intersection. I'm just throwing these down here all messy just to get them out there. But as you can see, the city keeps sprawling. There's an army surplus store, because you always want an army surplus during the zombie apocalypse. Same with the hospital, which is filled with health and zombies. And you're going to keep it going on like that. The city gets huge. And the goal is to get to that helipad or screw everybody else over on the way. And the way you're going to do that is with these cards. And you're always going to have 3 of these in your hand. And you can play 1 a turn. And then you draw back up to 3 when your turn comes around again. And you have ones like, this will focus, you have ones like Fear here, which target player may not move during their next turn. Claustrophobia makes a person run out of a building if they're in there. Lots of Ammo is a good one. This one requires you to be in the sporting goods store, and you get 3 additional bullets. There's some, let's see if I can find one real quick. There's a good one. You can't have a zombie apocalypse without a chainsaw. And if you're in the lawn and garden center, you can pick this up, and you get +2 against all zombies for the rest of the turn until it runs out of fuel. You can hang on to it. You don't have to use it right when you pick it up. There's ones like Butterfingers, which make a targeted player discard a weapon or up to 2 bullets. My personal favorite, We're Screwed, which lets you put 10 zombies anywhere on the board where there's no other zombies. Which means you can even drop those right on top of other players. So just when somebody thinks they've cleared out something to make a run into a building to pick up, say, the chainsaw, suddenly they're surrounded again. And I mentioned before the difference in the artwork. This is from the original. I do like the fact that Evil Dad is playing at the movie theater. Oops, and I got these mixed up. But to give you a kind of comparison, there's the movie theater in the new game. You can see where they went from the cartoony to the much more gritty comic book styling. And all the tokens are that way. I mean, there's your 90-degree turn. Old and new. I may be selling off my old stuff. Like I said, we mixed it in just to make it the game bigger, make the cities larger. A good thing if you do decide to combine sets is to make sure that you take out a lot of the dead ends, like the hospital here, because otherwise you end up very quickly running out of roads. So try to stick with your curves and your straightaways and your 4-way and 3-way intersections and away from the dead end when you combine sets. It's a lot of fun. There's been tons of different variants people have made and posted online. Zombies, Twilight Games. Great game, look it up. And see you in the next video.